Hi guys, welcome back to another video. And been a nice relaxing week on the farm. We've kind of crossed that threshold, I think, where we're kind of changing over the mood on the farm. Doing a lot of work now on planning for projects in the winter time and what next season is going to look like. Putting in a lot of my orders for materials for projects during the winter and the end of the summer here, and that's all going to affect next year on the farm. So I feel like we've kind of crossed a threshold where this summer has kind of just got to run its course, and we're in the planning stage for next year. The weather's been a little bit wetter now. We've had some thundery weather this last week or so, which is good for growth. The temperature is really warm. Now typically here it starts to rain this time of year and it doesn't stop, so hopefully the rain holds off, but I can't complain about the weather so far. So let's take a look at what we got up to the farm this week. This is a little update on the second farm that we're managing. And we've grazed this once. Jess is with me. We've grazed this once, and I was talking about going to top it, but I'm actually not going to bother now because I'm really surprised at how effective the first planned grazing is. We still have rushes, and there's still maybe 50% of the sward is in a rush, but I think it's going to be fine. You can see we've still got there's not much cover in the ground. There's still a lot of bare soil in there. The plan is to graze this again and bring the turkeys in here. And the plan is to turn, this is all rush here, new rush, but the plan is to turn that in and start to get a layer of compost down on the soil. And I'm actually very surprised at how reactive this has been with just a little bit of management. I mean, this was all taken off in rushes, but you can see the grasses, at least 50% of the sward is now in grasses, and nice mixed, you can see it's nice mixed species sward. So yeah, down the bottom there is some bigger bunches of rushes. We'll maybe cut them by hand, but the plan here is to give it another graze with the sheep and bring the turkeys in here, and hopefully we'll really kickstart it. Now just doing a move with the sheep here, and we're up on this little hillside here, and now we're over on the new farm, and this is the opposite problem. So the front field is out there, we're on this hillside here, and the front field has been overgrazed with a horse. This has actually been undergrazed, never grazed, and so there's been a thick thatch in the ground, and then the rush have just come through and it's kind of stagnated. So we're just brought, and you can see there's a briar coming through, so it's actually starting to brambles are taking over, and succession is starting to convert over to woodland. So we're using sheep here to really flatten it out. I can't bring the poultry in here because of the gate, so we're just using the sheep, and we're keeping them in pretty small paddocks, and we're giving it a good old flattening out, and we're giving it a bit of a trampling. And what this will do, it'll put down a good layer of mulch, but it'll also hopefully create a bit of space and a bit of light for new germination and new grasses to come through. So we'll probably graze this, and maybe next year we'll get some poultry on here. We'll maybe look at if we can make an access point and get some poultry on here, but for the time being we'll probably graze through here now, and we'll let this do a bit of recovery, and then we'll give it another heavy grazing before winter. And when I say heavy, I mean a lot of animal impact in a small space, not actually overgrazing. So we'll just impact it hard to try and flatten it all down and give new growth a chance, and then we'll move on. So we're going past midsummer now, so the grass is staying in a vegetated state for a lot longer. It hasn't the desire to go and make a seed, so we're getting lovely lush green grass This grass has had animals on it about 14 days ago, so you can see it's coming back with some beautiful nice regrowth, and we're only on probably our second or third true leaf, second I'd say for most of this. We're starting to get a nice growth on it. Hey piggies. These guys are going to be moving in 2 days. I've got this area pretty well worked over. And some of them will scratch. That's why I don't generally like letting them up to the main fence, because they're going to wear it out. I should have ran my electric fence along here. I'll know for again. We normally use the trees and stuff for that, but I guess when you got an itch, you just got to get it scratched, eh? And moving these guys pretty easy. We just roll the 2 IBCs, empty the water tank over there, take that with us, and take the feeder, and off we go. We'll let the pigs go hungry and they follow us pretty good. And we'll go and have a look at where we're taking them to. And this is the woodland, and I've just cut a path through here. Put an acre and a half in this lot, and it comes down to this little river here that meanders through it. It's really nice. Some rubbish in the river that needs to get taken out, some tires and stuff that's been there for a long time, but we'll get on that too. We'll take, every day we come down, we'll take a little bit with us and get the place cleaned up as well. So I've just made this deer, this path I'm on, it's been cut by deer, and I've just followed it, made it nice and easy for me to get through. And I've set up the first paddock way out the back here. And this tree, now there's a lot of dead standing timber, not particularly big trees in this woods. There's birch, and a little bit of ash, there's holly. You can see here where I've set up my first paddock. And I still got to bring in all the IBCs and that. It runs way up the hill here, up to the backfield, and then runs way down the bottom here and out into the flat down to the river. So pigs are going to absolutely love it here. And we've got a lot of wood to back through that way, get through before the end of September. So day after tomorrow I'm going to be bringing the pigs in here, and I bet they're going to love it. Next up with these piggies, and they're applying some sun lotion. They're making a little wallow here, kill off some of the sun, and these pigs are just jamming it. And my dad looks after these pigs. He's a sheep farmer all his life, but I might convince him to be a pig farmer. And they're just running on this hill. They've got over an acre of hill ground here, and you can see they're not doing too much damage to it. And it's good use of this hill because it's practically useless. I mean, sheep can graze it, but there's very little grazing for sheep. So it's making part of Dad's farm a bit more profitable, and it's currently just being taken over in rushes and growth, wild gorse even. So happy pigs. No biggie. If I was a pig, this would look like the life to me. Having a little wallow away. Now, we don't want to let them do too much wallowing because they'll create a big divot, but I'm happy to let them do a little bit because they look like they're pretty happy doing it. Scared making the wallow a little bigger. And they're just being pigs. Oh yeah, give me some of that. To be honest, it's that warm today, I feel like getting down in beside her. I'm sorry, piggy. Yeah. it's good, eh? Happy piggies. Quite difficult to see, but maybe you can just make it out. This apiary is just buzzing, and I've been in these boxes today. A friend of mine has grafted some queens, and he was first time doing it, so he gave me some queens to try out. So I've been trying that, and just put them in, and they're just coming in delay, so I've been checking them, and honey is really starting to flow, so that's good. This is how the goats, you walk over the trees and push the tall ones down and then graze off the top of them. So these guys are going to sort this out for me in no time, and I'll get rid of all these suckers. Turkey's just taking a bit of shelter from the rain. They see me, they want to see what's going on. Turkeys are doing awesome, just absolutely smashing it. And go and take them up to the other farm probably in about a week and a bit's time. We've got to do this square here in the square, so I think maybe a week. They've just moved on to this morning, and the project this week is going to be to build another gobbledygook. I always love watching turkeys run. I think it's just quite funny. And yeah, so I got to get another gobbledygook built for these guys, just to give them a bit more roosting space. They still fit on fine, but they're starting to really put on weight now, so they're going to get too big to all fit on there. We don't want anybody left out in the cold, so we're going to get just another gobbledygook made. And really happy with how this bunch are doing. And I'm doing a good job in the grass here too. We move all along here, and when we went up, we just came from over, you can see under the tree there where we came from. So they give the ground a good old scratching and shake a bit of life into it, and that's why I want to bring them to the new farm to really help toss down the rushes and sedges and get some new grass coming up through. I think they're going to be quite helpful for that. So thanks for your help, guys. Okay, I got the chassis all welded up and painted, and just letting the paint dry here now. So this is the steelwork. A lot of people try to think they have to find like a caravan chassis or donor trailers or whatever. That's only the case if you've got one in hand, or it's really cheap to get one. I find around here a lot of people are pretty thrifty, so they've already taken the older trailers and refurbished them and try to sell them on at a little profit. So the easiest thing for me and for longevity, I like to just build them myself. So I've got like 100 euros in steel here, and it's just one length of 3-inch channel iron, and I cut it into two sections. One makes the drawbar, one makes the axle. Then I buy, these are little trailer making kits with flotation tires. You buy the whole kit, you get the wheel bearings, the rims, the wheels, and a hitch for like 250 euros. I think that's with VAT, so it's like 200 euros after VAT is deducted. So like 300 euros I've made myself a chassis, and now I'll build my frame on top of this. And I'm going to build a wooden frame just because it's faster for me to build in wood. And like this axle is going to last me probably at least 15 years. I'll give it a coat of paint every time it needs it, and it'll not be any trouble for me. I got around to making a more doggy friendly pen for Jess, I actually borrowed this from my dad. He got this pen for his dogs and he hadn't put it up, so I kind of borrowed it. He needs to put in a concrete pad, and it'll give me time to get another one made for Jess. It is very simple. I just got a little IBC tank, and she can go in here out of the rain. She's happy out. She only sleeps in here anyway. She's out with me most of the day anyway, and quite handy. Put her in here at night, so she's a little area outside, and then when I come up in the morning, then she's let out again. Happy puppy. Aren't you a happy puppy? Yeah, yeah, you are. Yeah. Yeah, hi Jess. Now we're just in the process of cleaning out the brooder here. We've done our last batches of broilers for the year, and this year broilers have been one of the most problematic on the farm. One of the big reasons for that was I started way too early, and that was I was going against nature, and that has told me for next year I'm definitely going to do my broilers later in the year, so I'll do more batches towards the middle of the summer as opposed to trying to start too early and just do more birds and less number of batches. So I'll end up doing the same number of birds, but I'll do them all in the summertime as opposed to trying to go closer into the shoulder seasons, and we'll just have more frozen chicken available rather than fresh. It just doesn't make sense going against nature, and I should learn from that. So we've got the brooder well cleaned out. Just got to take down the lights, and we'll use this for storage. At the minute I've just picked up some second-hand windows on Facebook Marketplace, so got them at a good price, so got them for a project I'm going to need in the next month or so. So I'm going to store them up in here for now and keep them safe. So that's it for this video, folks, and I'll see you in another video soon.